Welcome to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Brecheen.
Hi, you're listening to the Sports Scouting Report with Lee Brecheen. Glad that you could join us. We have a great show today. We've got two big-time guests, Jack Bech, wide receiver from St. Thomas More High School. You're going to be hearing from Jack, I think the best receiver in Louisiana for 2021 class. We also have Cameron Taylor, a baseball player, current pitcher for Northwestern State, who's got 2 years left of eligibility and has his degree already. Super smart kid, played at Airline High School in Bossier City. Played football, too. I watched him play football and baseball in high school. Caught a tournament game in Gonzales when he was a junior in baseball, sat with his dad. Russell Taylor, who played at Centenary as a basketball player, was a great basketball player at Centenary. And we're going to go ahead and go into our first segment, and that's going to be Commitment Watch. Speaking of Jack Bech, we're going to talk about Walker Howard, who's going to be a junior. He's got 2 years of football left, and a kid that's, I think, going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the country when he's finished. I mean, he's an incredible talent. It's going to be his first year to start, and he's already got 100 offers from colleges all over the country. He's committing. Actually, while this show is being produced, he's committing after the show. But I'm going to go ahead and predict that Walker Howard's going to commit to LSU. His dad, Jamie Howard, went to LSU, played quarterback. His sisters go to LSU. I just think in my gut feeling that he'll be an LSU Tiger and commit to LSU, even though he's been offered by Alabama, Texas A&M, and you name it, all the biggies in the country have already offered him. He hasn't even started a game yet, so that's how special he is. I watched Walker Howard in spring. He was backing up Caleb Holstein, who signed with Louisiana Tech, who was really good. And Walker Howard would have started for any program in Louisiana outside of St. Thomas More last year and outside of Newman with Arch Manning. Outside of those two, he would have started for anybody in Louisiana and probably most high schools in the country. But Walker Howard is going to be a special football player by the time he's done. He just needs the experience, and he will get it this year. And going into his senior year, I think he'll be one of the top 10, 15 players in the country, if not one of the top 2 or 3 overall. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, you're going to hear Jack Bech, Walker Howard's teammate at St. Thomas More, his go-to receiver this coming year, who I think is the best receiver in Louisiana and one of the top players in the country. If there's a better receiver in the country, I would like to see him, because I've seen Jack play in 8 games in the last 2 years, and he is a phenomenal talent. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Sports Scouting Report with Lee Brecheen.
Hello, Sports Scouting Report podcast fans. Like what you hear? Well, you're going to like our content at lafootballmagazine.com. This week, check out our recruit spotlights on Catholic High School safety Michael Cernoskis, who has committed to the Army Black Knights this past week, and Manny running back Terrence Williams, who is carrying on the great power running tradition for the Tigers. Also, make sure to check out our podcast each and every week and pre-order your North or South Magazine edition for this upcoming season. All that and more on lafootballmagazine.com.
You're listening to the Sports Scouting Report with Lee Brecheen. Really excited this segment to have one of the top players, I think, in the state of Louisiana joining us. He's a wide receiver, has the mentality of like a boxer. I mean, this guy, when he comes out on the field, he just takes over a game. Reminds me of a Jordy Nelson of Green Bay Packers, just a big receiver with great hands, great blocker, does everything. Thanks for joining us, Jack Bech. Jack Bech from St. Thomas More. They call it STM in Lafayette. Jack, thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Jack, look, I know you've basically got this legend status at STM, man. I mean, you had that phenomenal season in 19. Your stats, 91 catches, 1,668 yards and 20 touchdowns and 18.3 yards a catch. And you told me just now, I mean, since a month ago, you just went to the doctor. You've grown another inch, so you're 6'2.5", now 212, right?
Yes, sir.
How ready are you to get back on the field, not having a spring practice, Jack? You're a very intense kid, a very tough kid. You can tell you bring it when you go and play in a game. But what does it mean to you to get back and going like old days and get back at football?
Man, it means a lot. Not only am I itching for it, but the whole team is. And not only the whole team, but I think the whole state, the whole country is just all ready to get back on the field, to get ready to back to a little bit of normalcy, and just bring football back. We started workouts on Monday, and I know it's been great for everybody because everybody's been working out. I know our team, at least, everybody has been grinding, but it's nice to be able to get back with the whole team and grind with the whole team and have everybody back together and be able to lead them and just take that next step to starting the season.
Jack, I've been scouting for colleges since '91. Under the radar. I do it silently and talk to coaches, and there's all these boxes you check for receiver. Power, speed, vertical, hands, IQ of the game, and a blocker, and route running. And you check all those boxes to me. I think you're the number one receiver in Louisiana. I thought you were the number one receiver in Louisiana last year. I know you got some good teammates that are good receivers too, but I'm just saying as your potential to be a great player because you can catch a ball under pressure, and that's what impresses me the most. When the ball's thrown in the air and it's a 50-50 ball and there's two DBs going up with you, you always win those battles. Tell everybody what it's like when the game is going full speed and the people don't in the stands, they don't see the full effort, and it's a fast game. What is it like for you to go up and get that ball? What makes it so good for you to do that? I mean, that's a lot of hard work for you to go up and be aggressive, right? I mean, you don't see a lot of receivers go up and win all those battles. You pretty much win those.
Yeah, sir. It's just a lot of hard work and a lot of effort put into it. Me and my receiver coach at STM, Coach Lance Strother, we stay after every practice, and we always go get in that extra work. And whenever I'm tired, we go and we do a lot of extra drills after practices. I'm talking about like last season, during the season, or like while we're in school, and all that stuff. And just a lot of high pointing drills whenever I'm tired after practice. If my legs are dead, he just makes me keep going. We'll go for like 20, 30 minutes after. Just really show the grit and how to get after it. Whenever the game's on the line, whenever pressure's on, whenever I'm tired. So that really helps a lot. And just also the mentality of just, no, there are no 50-50 balls. It's 80-20. And to know just that I'm always coming down with it and just always keep that mindset.
And you always looking to score. I mean, you can be on the 50, and it's tough to bring you down. You don't go down easily. You have a linebacker. I tell people linebacker mentality, and that's what I love in receivers, a tough receiver. But you can tell you put a lot of work in catching the ball. You must stay after practice and catch a lot of footballs. Or you look like you work on that a little bit, Jack.
Yes, sir, we do. Like I said, we'll do that with Coach Lance, and we'll catch, like, after practice around 100, 200 balls every day. If it be just standing and catching, or if it be running routes after practice, and then catching just standing balls at all different angles, like catching the ball straight on, maybe some side angles over the head, over the shoulder. Just all these different little nuances of the game that I try to perfect to just try and bring my game to the next level.
Now, your high school's put out some great receivers that I've watched over the years. Javon Walker was the first great one to Florida State, played in the NFL for the Raiders and a few teams. Griffin Hebert, who is still currently he's a starter for Louisiana Tech, 6'3", about 215. I thought he was a great receiver. Brett Broadhead went to McNeese from STM, and there were some other ones. And you have a couple of teammates that are going to sign at receiver too. But this year coming up, y'all won the state championship this past season, two out of 3 years, and you guys have a chance to win it 3 years out of 4. What is that like to know that y'all have a chance to win another state championship?
Man, it just makes you want to work harder. It makes you feel in the summer, whenever you're with all these workouts, whenever you don't think you can go anymore, to just keep pushing because you know that it might hurt now, but in the end, you're going to get the result you want. And we all know the whole team basically last year felt the way it felt to win a state championship. And it's a great feeling. Just know at the end of the season, all the hard work you put in, it all paid off. And ending on a win is the goal of every team, there is. So it made for a great experience, and we all hope that we can just repeat that again.
Jack, this season will be special again, but your family is a long line of athletes. Your uncles Blaine Bech played at LSU, walked on, started. Brett Bech walked on and started, was the strength coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Your grandfather was a track sensation at Southeastern, your grandfather, and your aunt was one of the first LSU soccer players at LSU. What was it like growing up as a little kid with everybody in the family having a background in college athletics?
I mean, it was pretty cool because they were all pretty well recognized. So when we go places with them, and people would always be coming up to them and talking to them. And it was something, I kind of strive for. I've always kind of wanted to be like that, to just put in all the hard work and then to have that final result. Yeah, I mean, it's also made the way we do things, like I tell people this, whenever we have like Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, and the whole family's together, there's always a huge game. And nor do we take it lightly. It always is so serious. Like if we go out and we play a football game, like
competitive,
we'll start soft. Yeah, it will start not that competitive, but then, once like start scoring a little bit, it always unfolds and escalates into a game where people start bleeding and getting hit. And
this is the holidays. This is the holidays, huh, John?
These are just some holidays.
This is when you get through eating all your gumbo and everything. You're like, all right, we're full.
Right, for sure.
All right, who's got the football, right? Where's football at? And your brother, Tiger, is a college football player right now. Tell everybody about Tiger. He's doing well right now in college as a receiver.
Yeah, he's doing great. He's made a lot of the different accolades up at Princeton, the All-Ivy team, special teams, all special teams. He's done a lot of great things. He works really hard as well. We all do. He gets it from the family. But he was a really good wide receiver at STM. He's one of the fastest people I've ever seen in my life, and his routes are phenomenal. I mean, I haven't seen many people in person run better routes than him.
So when y'all go in the backyard and it's your uncles that both played receiver, your brother played receiver, and you have to be a DB. I mean, who's the toughest to guard back in a back room? You're like the backyard brawl, I guess, for the holidays. Who's the toughest, Tiger, Blaine, or Brett to guard?
Oh, right now, my brother for sure. Maybe like a couple, 5-7 years ago, my uncle. Right now, definitely my brother.
Yeah, man. And then look, you're committed to Vanderbilt in Nashville. Great city, great college. I know that that's a school that you just can't turn down early when Vandy comes calling, right?
Right, for sure.
And tell everybody why you picked Vandy early. And I know I've been to Nashville a few times. It's a great place to live. What is it about Vandy you like?
Man, just the being able to play in the SEC, big time football. The coaching staff loves me. They all really want me. Always get texts and calls. They're always trying to show me love. The academic side of things, they're one of the best schools in the nation academically. And it was just a good fit. I got to go up there before all this COVID-19 stuff started happening. I got to see the campus. I got to see everything they had to offer. And I really appreciated everything they had to offer. And I liked it a lot. So I just felt like everything was just meant to be, and it was a really good fit.
Yeah.
And so I just decided to pull the trigger.
Yeah, and I talked to your dad, Martin, a great guy, your dad, and this is coming, Jack. It's going to come at some point. I think it will, because you're I just think that you were kind of, I don't know, kind of slow played by some of the big guys, I guess, or just they're not all right there on you like some of the other schools. But you know what I'm probably going to ask you. A lot of these big guys are going to be coming your way. How do you handle that when the season's going to be over, like during this season? You are committed, but what do you do if Auburn and LSU and Alabama and all these huge schools, Texas and all of them, start offering you? It's going to be a tough position to be in, right?
I guess, but I mean, Vandy has showed me love from the beginning, and people ask me about that, but I mean, I don't have it now, so that's just talking into the future.
Yeah.
I mean, people say that, but there might be a good possibility that it might not happen. And I just say where I'm at.
Now you're good.
And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
And if that does happen, no, it's fine. And if that does happen, I am more than 1,000% fine with where I am right now. I would, no feelings would be hurt at all, and I would just get there and show a lot of those big schools what they missed out on.
And I agree with you, man. Like I said, I'm one of your biggest fans in the media. I saw you play in your spring game before the season started last year, and I was telling some of the dads in the stadium. I was sitting in the stadium, and I said, that's the best receiver I've seen in Louisiana in 2 years, and maybe even 10 years. So I wanted you to know that. I'll tell you that off the air. But, look, talk about your relationship with Holstein, your quarterback last year signed with Louisiana Tech. I don't think he got the love in recruiting with all the big guys either. He's got probably a chip on his shoulder going to Louisiana Tech, and he was committed to the Ivy League for a while. And then you got Walker Howard, who's your friend, who's going to be your current quarterback. He's been waiting his turn. What is it like transitioning from Holstein, Jack, to Walker? They're two different types of quarterbacks. And tell everybody, what is it like? What was it like getting balls from Holstein compared to Walker Howard?
Yeah, I mean, both their playing styles are pretty different, as you can see, obviously. Well, Caleb is much bigger frame. You know, he's been playing since he was a sophomore, so he has a lot of. No, I'm not going to say he has a lot more IQ, but I guess right now his decision making is better just because
experience.
He has played 30 years experience. He's played in some pretty big games. 2 state championships, a semifinal game against De La Salle my freshman year. So, I mean, he's had a lot of experience in big-time games. And he throws up money ball. I mean, he can place it phenomenally. Not the correct word. He can place it really well.
Touch on the ball and stuff.
Yeah, he has a great touch on the ball. And then Walker, you know, he's more of a dual threat. He can get going. If he needs to run and get out of there, he can. He can move around in the pocket really well. I mean, he's 16 years old, and we were throwing the other day, and he threw a ball 68 yards. I mean, the kid is going to be great. He's going to make an solid decision tomorrow.
Yeah. What is your hunch? I mean, you're his friend, but do you, if you could say what school it would be, what do you think it would probably be if you were guessing?
Well, I already know, so I can't really say anything. But I've been knowing for a while, but I got to keep my mouth shut.
And look, I saw Walker in the spring game. You know, when I was there, and when I saw you last year, you know, he got to come in after Holstein got all the first reps. You know, and then when Walker came in, it was like watching Mahomes from the Chiefs. You know, he got in this he was just in this train of thought where he couldn't miss, and he was scrambling, he was throwing these crazy passes that were NFL balls in the end zone on the run, and his out passes. I mean, I was like, wow. And you were not even out there. It was all the other guys, the young guys he was working with. And I was so amazed. He threw like 5 touchdowns in a row, like 5 of 5 in the red zone, coming in just right off the bench. I mean, he's got so much ability, I think.
Yeah, his potential is out of this world. I mean, and not only is that, but he works so hard. We grind together a lot. We've been friends. I mean, ever since we were born, we grew up together. Our uncles played at LSU together. It was a connection there. We've been throwing with each other since I would say through like 7 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been throwing me the rock for forever.
Yeah.
So being able to play with him on the varsity level, we did play with him his freshman year. I was a sophomore. We did play JV together, and we lit it up there. But I'm just so excited to be able to show everybody what we got on the varsity level, and to really just, shock the state and show them that, this is a real deal, and that but he's gonna be great. I mean, like I was saying, he's 16 years old, throwing the ball 68 yards. The power he has behind his ball is unreal. I mean, sometimes it hurts my hands.
Yeah,
I've caught some pretty hard balls.
That's saying a lot. And, his dad, Jamie, as you know, his dad was a great quarterback. He could spin, and he was one of the first great quarterbacks at STM.
He can still spin it, too.
He can.
Still spin it.
He looks like he can. You've caught some balls from him, his dad?
All the time.
I mean, he could throw it about 65 yards in his day or 70 yards. He had a cannon. And also, Jack, I want to mention this, and because I'm an LSU, I grew up in Baton Rouge, but I'm biased, but I was like, man, this guy needs to be in purple and gold, one day. But I'm just I'm one of those home guys, and I'm happy for you're committed to Vandy, but I would love to see you in purple and gold in the end. I've got to say that, because I'm just a fan, of LSU. But man, look, you got a whole year left. And I think the only thing that could get in your way is just not working hard anymore, because you've got all the boxes checked, and I don't think that's you. You're going to continue to grind, huh?
Yeah, sure, 1,000%. I'm not going to stop till I have what I want, and what I want is just always want the best. We're not stopping anytime soon.
All right, any jokesters on the team, Jack? When y'all are not serious or knocking each other on the ground, but any jokesters coming back on the team? Anybody keeps it kind of light when things are over with, when y'all get the W?
Yeah, I would say a kid named Carter Arsenault. He actually just got his first offer. I think on either Monday or Tuesday from Louisiana College. So I was really happy for him.
Good receiver for y'all. Another good receiver.
Yeah, he's really good. He's really good. I would say him and a kid named Evan Como. He's another receiver on the team. They're both pretty funny.
What's it like playing for Jim Hightower, who's been there forever? I mean, he's been there over 30 years, and got to be happy for Coach Hightower, huh? Getting these state championships later in life. He spent so many years without getting any, and then he's getting so many of them later. And you got to be happy for Coach Hightower, huh, Jack?
Oh, I'm more than happy for Coach Hightower. He's put everything he's had to this game, and it's awesome to see, it return in favor to him. And it makes everybody, whenever he gets out there, to see him, how passionate he is about the game, it fires all of us up. I think he's one of the best coaches in the state, if not the U.S. He's a great guy. He's a great person. He loves each and every one of us, and he'd do anything for us. And I think everybody on the whole team respects him.
Yeah.
Respects him a lot, and what he's accomplished in his coaching career is really great.
Yeah, Hall of Fame coach, a great guy. I've been able to sit down with your coach about probably 30 times in the last 25 years. And hey, I got to throw this out. I was at the Catholic High game last year when y'all lost. That was a painful loss with that late field goal. Would you like to get another rematch with those guys in another game, maybe?
Oh, yeah, they're on our schedule next year.
Oh, so y'all play Catholic High, so it's going to be in Baton Rouge, I think, right?
Yeah, sure, it's going to be in Baton Rouge next year.
Nobody needs to get the team pumped up for that one, right?
No, it's I think we're going to – I'm not going to say anything. I think we're going to, I think we're going to do our thing. We're going to stay humble, and I think the results are going to be – we're going to be happy with them at the end.
Yeah, and y'all's fans travel well, too, so I'm sure y'all will bring a couple of thousand fans to Baton Rouge. It'll probably be, about, I would think, 7,000 to 8,000 fans at that game. It's going to be a great turnout. And, look, man, good luck to you this coming season, and happy that you are committed. You are at a big-time school, Vanderbilt. We're talking to Jack Bech, receiver from St. Thomas More, and you can't pick a better city, though, man. Living in Nashville, right? Nashville's a great place.
Yeah, Nashville is sick. I mean, they have a lot to offer. I'm not that big into country music, to be honest.
Okay.
And that's like all there is over there. Like all you hear, you're just walking down the streets and you will hear every country artist there is. Which I mean, I guess I'm not. It's gonna have to grow on me, I guess.
Well, you might end up being a country fan when you move back, right?
Yeah, I mean, anything is possible, I guess, unless I just plug in my ears with some AirPods or something, or some headphones or something. But yeah, I guess it's gonna grow on me. But it's always alive. The city never goes to sleep. I mean, it could be 4 a.m. and the city will still be all lit up. So that's pretty cool. All the coaches said they really love it. Just the atmosphere of the place. And they're just hoping to get Vanderbilt to be that school that everybody comes to support on game day, in the city.
Yeah, and I want to mention this. I want to give kudos to your offensive coordinator, Shane Savoy, who does a great job. Your receivers coach, Lance Strother. Both of those guys played college football. A lot of people don't know that.
Yes, sir. They both played at was it Arkansas Tech?
Yeah, both were teammates, and it's unique that they've been at the school. They both played at STM, and I know you think highly of those two men that have done a great job with the offense at STM. It's one of the best offenses in the country. And anything you'd like to say about Lance and Shane before we go, as with their coaching and what they've done with the receivers and the quarterbacks?
Yeah, Coach Shav. I mean, he the way he implements our offense is just unreal for the high school level. I mean, we all love it, but it can get pretty specific at times, which just makes us all better, which makes just all of our IQs go up on the game, because everything we do for a reason. Like, we're not just going to call a route blindfolded. We're going to call it based on the coverage. Like, we'll be about to run a route, and he'll whistle in from the sideline, or Walker will see something, and he'll totally call off the play. He'll call the line. He'll tell them something new, and then he'll look at the receivers, and he'll give us a sign for a new route to run because we saw something different, or we'll call in the Walker with what we see. Whenever we get to the sideline, we have an iPad, so we can watch the different things the defense did in the drive prior, and so we can always change it up. All due to Coach Shav. He's worked hard on it. He works us hard, just trying to get that offense right. And that's by the time that the playoffs get time to come around.
Jack,
we're on top of our game. We're 100%.
Jack, it reminds me of the LSU offense that you saw with Burrow. The STM offense. It's fast paced. It's organized. Everybody's in sync. And it looks like when things are just clicking, man, it's just no stopping the offense with the running backs, the receivers, the quarterback. But it reminds me a lot of that LSU offense. Like, I mean, it's a fast offense. And
yes, sir.
Put a lot of pressure on defenses,
Yes, sir. Yeah, if we're not beating you with the run, then we're going to throw it. And if we're beating you with a throw and you'll stop it, then we'll start beating you with the run. It's really hard to stop our offense. And then Coach Lance, I mean, he's like Coach Hightower. If he's not the best wide receiver coach in the state, I mean, I don't know who is. And if he's not one of the top in the U.S., then I don't know who is. He's done a lot. Not only is he a great coach, but he's a great person, as is Coach Shav. But Coach Lance, I know more because Coach Lance is my specific skill position coach. He really cares a lot about each and every one of us. He does a lot for us. And the way he can transform us from freshman year to senior year is just crazy. He can get these little scrawny kids into senior year. They're being able to compete with D1 cornerbacks and D1 linebackers. Not only are they able to compete, but they're getting separation, making big time plays on them. It's just great to see, the evolution of how things change from freshman year to senior year with Coach Shav and Coach Lance.
Hey, look, I got to give you some advice. Next time the family gets together and y'all get through eating like the Thanksgiving or Christmas meal, take it easy on your uncles, man. Now you're 212 pounds, and your brother, it's going to be a little different now that you're a bigger kid, right? So you got to take it easy on those guys now.
Yes, sir. And also a big shout out to Coach Dave as well. He
Great coach.
He works us out really hard. And he's the one who really puts that mindset in the summer into our heads. He pushes us really hard, and he makes us who we are. He makes our identity of always working hard, never quitting. He always has these two sayings that I really love. He says 211 degrees is really hot water, but 212 degrees is boiling water. Mm-hmm. And he always says, start before the line, finish after. So, those two sayings, bring us a really far way. And I think those just show who we are. He makes us who we are, and he makes us grind. And whenever we're tired, that makes us keep going.
And, Jack, congratulations. I picked you to be on the cover of our magazine that's going to be out late August. Kudos for that. I know that you're going to be –
Yeah, thank you so much for that.
Yeah, one of 20 kids on the South cover, and we're excited that you're going to be on there representing STM. STM's going to be – all your teammates are going to be mentioned in the magazine. We got a lot of good players coming back, too many to mention. But y'all have a really good team coming back to defend the state championship. And Jack, look, good luck to you, man. You did really great today, and I can't wait to see a practice, man, a full-fledged practice in pads, right?
Yes, sir. I can't wait for that day.
All right, Jack, take care, man. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, that was Jack Bech, wide receiver, St. Thomas More. I think the best receiver in the state of Louisiana. We'll be back. You're listening to the Sports Scouting Report with Lee Brecheen.
Parents, are you looking for advice on getting your high school athlete recruited by the right college? Lee Brecheen is your answer. Lee has been doing it for over 30 years. He knows the ropes, and more importantly, he knows the people. Lee offers turnkey service from evaluation, creating highlight tapes in the correct format, and complete guidelines for effective communication with the schools. No matter the sport, girl or boy, no matter what grade your child is in, let Lee Brecheen help match your child to the right college fit. Go to our website, lafootballmagazine.com, and get connected today.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Scouting Report with Lee Brecheen. Glad you could join us. And we got a great guest on the show today. We don't always have college baseball players, current college baseball players. We have Cameron Taylor, who's currently a pitcher for Northwestern State in Natchitoches, Louisiana. He's going to be a junior coming up, has his degree with 2 years left. Cameron, thanks for joining us, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Oh, man, look, it's I know we tried – we'll share this with the public. We tried recording this earlier, man. We had like some equipment blow up. So this is like doing the ninth inning to go 10 innings, 11 innings, 12 innings, right? Right, Cameron?
No, for sure.
You went to Airline High School. A couple of your teammates from Airline are your teammates now at Northwestern State. Excited that you got 2 years left. I know you got to be excited that baseball is going to be coming back, and the MLB Draft, we're going to talk about your teammate from Canada, Logan Hoffman. But I know you're itching to come back to full-time baseball and get out of the house, right, eating mom and dad out of all their food right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Not even just like coming back to baseball, but just coming back to being with the guys and having a sense of normalcy about life going on. So
you throw 89 to 90 miles an hour. You're a lefty. You've grown a lot. You were 155 pounds in high school starting out. Now you're 200 pounds, 6 foot tall. You're now this big athlete. You were the small athlete playing football in high school for Airline, and Colton Prater was your teammate who played at A&M, an offensive center and a guard who you had a chance to see after his last game at LSU. And most LSU fans would be glad it was a loss. So, I mean, Colton, if you're listening, we hope you're doing good. But the Tigers with Joe Burrow was just too much that night in Tiger Stadium. And Colton Prater, I saw when I watched you and Colton play and all those players 4 years ago. I can't believe it's already been 4 years, Cameron.
Yeah, tell me about it. It's flown by. It feels like it was just 2 weeks ago. We were playing on Friday night, our last game. So.
Natchitoches has become your second home. You grew up in Bossier City. We talked about that earlier. And you got a lot a lot of teammates now that, played with you at Airline, and then currently you've got a lot of guys with charisma and a lot of jokesters on the team. And we're going to mention this. One of the students threw a chair or like an object out on the field. Nobody got hurt or anything, but y'all started doing telling everybody about the routine y'all started doing as players ever since that chair was thrown. Again, it was not thrown at anybody, but it was on the field from some fan.
Yeah, for sure. We were in a big game, and umpire made a bad call at second base, and a student accidentally, of course, threw their chair on the field in anger. It probably just fell, whatever. But and ever since then, we had this thing we do in the dugout. We yell chair with 2 strikes to try to get the strikeout. And so what we would start doing, we'd start holding the chairs up ever since that happened. And so the students that would sit behind left field would take their yard chairs and also like throw them in the air and start pointing them to the sky, like chanting chair, chair, chair. And ever since then, it just kind of became our thing in the dugout to kind of rile ourselves up.
We're talking to Cameron Taylor, pitcher for Northwestern State in Natchitoches, who's going to be one of their top pitchers coming out of the bullpen in this coming season, which I'm so glad this coming season. I mean, this past year was cut short. Y'all had a great team, Cameron, and there was so many unlimited ability. I mean, this team might have went even farther than the team that went to Oregon State 3 years ago and played in a regional that LSU was in. Y'all had LSU beat, but you weren't able to travel to Corvallis when you were hurt then. But what do you think of this team that played, under 15 games? I mean, y'all were 12-4. Man, y'all were on fire, and y'all had a chance to maybe win the Southland Conference this past year.
No, for sure. The games, we were 12-4, but the games we lost, we kind of gave them up. It's not like we were beat. First weekend, we took 2 out of 3 from Wichita State, gave away a game there. And they were a very well-rounded team. I'm pretty sure the only 2 games they lost on the season were to us. And then, played next weekend against Eastern Illinois. Friday night, they had a first-round draft day. We beat him. And that kind of set the tone for the year and kind of got the ball rolling for us and gave us a lot of confidence going into the next few weeks. So we were definitely excited about the rest of the year and felt like we had a really strong chance of winning the conference and going to the regional and making some noise.
We're going to cross our fingers. The MLB Draft started yesterday, and it continues today. And your teammate, Logan Hoffman, the Canadian native, is going to be possibly drafted. He throws 95 miles an hour. I mean, you hit 89 to 90 as a lefty, which is pretty good. And he has 4 pitches. We talked about it earlier. Innings, 38 innings, 28 strikeouts. Incredible pitcher, 4 pitches, and makes your life easy where you don't have to go in but maybe an inning this coming year if he comes back. Talk about your buddy Logan Hoffman, who's got a decision to make, and I know you're not talking to him right now. Everybody's trying to call him.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure his phone is blowing up. But, he's definitely fun to watch. He makes our jobs in the bullpen a lot easier, Usually he goes out on a Friday night. You only got to send one guy on Friday night. You got the rest of the staff for the weekend. But he's definitely got some of the best stuff that I've ever seen in person. And it's the way – it's not even just like with baseball. He doesn't try to be a leader. He just is a leader with the way he works and the way he carries himself. And it's really impressive to watch. And I hope the best for him. I don't want him to leave. I'm really conflicted because I want him to become a multimillionaire. I want what's best for him. I want him to go play pro ball, make it to the big leagues. But at the same time, I want to spend a full season with him at Northwestern and watch him work over the course of a full season and see what he can do.
Hey, I wanted to ask you this, Cameron. Is his fastball at 95, is it a heavy fastball or is it how would you compare his fastball to some of the 95s you've seen from LSU and A&M and Arkansas?
It's the way his fastball is. So he has a very high spin rate. And so his fastball, it looks like it kind of rises as it's coming to the plate, kind of like a Verlander type. Okay. So when it's up in the zone to a hitter, it looks like it starts at his eyes and it'll go above. It looks like it rises above his head, and so that kind of makes the ball carry a little more and has a little more oomph to it. So it's a little more deceptive and a little harder to hit. It's a little harder to get on top of. So if he's not getting swings and misses, which most of the time he does, he's getting a lot of pop outs and a lot of choppers. just because they're trying to make up that angle.
Cameron, have you ever done any BP practice against him as a batter? Have you ever said, look, I want to see if I can hit you?
No, I've never faced him. I stopped being a hitter about 2 years ago, but actually one of our other pitchers, so we do inter-squads a lot during the fall and the spring, and in the spring, he didn't give up any hits.
Wow.
I'm sorry. In the fall, he didn't give up any hits.
That's incredible.
And in the spring inter-squad, he gave up one hit.
Whoa.
And it was to our closer, Kyle Swanson.
Man.
Who was also one of the backup first basemen.
All right, talk about your pitching. All right, everybody has a fastball. As a lefty, it's always tough for hitting lefties, but what is your go-to pitch when you're tired and the fastball might not be working? What is your second pitch in your arsenal?
Honestly, it depends on the day. Some days my curveball is way better than my changeup, and some days my changeup is way better than my curveball. So it really just depends on, how everything's feeling that day and how the ball is coming out of my hand. When I can command the fastball more inside, usually my curveball will be better that day. But when I'm commanding the fastball way better, usually my changeup will be better that day because I'm getting more extension. So it really just depends on what day it is. And I don't really have a favorite. I just kind of go with what's working that day.
Cameron, talk about what it's like to pitch when it's cold, because it's hard to get high velocity right when it's cold. Like if it's like a 65-degree game.
It is. It's
compared
miserable.
to a 90-degree game.
Yeah, it's miserable. We have some guys that actually love pitching in cold weather.
What?
But, oh, yeah, for sure.
Maybe Hoffman being from Canada might love that, huh?
Yeah, see, it doesn't bother him one bit. Like, he has no preference. Cold, rain, doesn't matter. Just because he's pitched in a lot of different elements. But, like, we'll have guys because they know the hitters are also cold. So when it's cold and it's raining, they'll come hard inside more, try to get more jams and try to take some bumps.
Man, and
so
look,
they like pitching that way.
Wow, and look, the fan support's incredible at Northwestern. Over 1,000 fans for conference home games at night. During the day, y'all still get to a 300, which is incredible. What do you want to say about your fans? Any of these fans, even diehard Northwestern State Demon fans, about coming to the games? And I mean, y'all average thousands of fans for. And look, we mentioned it earlier. Y'all get more fans to a conference game at home than UCLA or Arizona in the Pac-12, which is incredible.
Yeah, our fans are definitely like a big part of what we do because we are in a small town, a small college town. So our fans are a lot more personable with us. We know a lot of them just because, the town is so small, everybody knows everybody. So, our fans come up to us, introduce themselves, and I feel like that's not the way it really goes at a lot of big schools. Like players don't really know their fans the way we know our fans and the way we see them around town. And, we'll be in Walmart and we'll be wearing a Northwestern State shirt and somebody come up to you, shake your hand and tell you like, oh, hey, I was at Northwestern State and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh, and it's like, so you learn a little bit about everybody in the town.
Well, we talked about it earlier, but we talked about hecklers and playing on the road and at home, but y'all have a couple of hecklers at home that affect opponents. But you told me at Arkansas that those Suey fans, when they get up and do their hands and go Suey, I mean, you said that's intimidating at Arkansas.
Yeah, it's intense. It was definitely a different experience. I've only experienced that like one other time, and that was when we played Texas A&M. But the SEC fans are definitely brutal, and they'll let you know when you get behind, and they won't say a word when you're ahead. So you just try to get ahead and stay ahead in those situations.
Talk about some of your characters on the team. Who is the most paranoid player on the team? Like who has like if the hat's wrong, they're going to be upset. If their socks are not right, is there anybody like that on the team?
Tell you what, we definitely have one of those, Lenny Cooner. So
he's a 6-year guy, right? This is 6 year.
Oh
right?
yeah, 6-year guy. Definitely got all the bling bling. Got the chain, got the different kind of socks, got the wristbands, and if he's missing a wristband or his sock's crooked, he doesn't think he's going to have a good day. But at the end of the day, dude's a really, really good ball player and makes a lot of plays and gets a lot of barrels. So we can always count on him to do something big.
I think he went to
Live
Live
Oak.
The Watson.
He did go to Live Oak.
Watson native, Live Oak High School. Yeah, he was committed to LSU at one time. LSU Tigers.
He was. He has a giant chip on his shoulder. Him and Tyler Smith, giant chip on their shoulder. They were both committed to LSU, and got their offers dropped and got picked up by Northwestern State.
And it's worked out.
Since then, they trade with oh yes.
So yeah, that's good stuff, man. And look, we're gonna take a break and hold on. Cameron will be right back. We're talking to Cameron Taylor, who's one of the top pitchers for Northwestern State, and will be one of the top pitchers when baseball resumes for the new season, even though 220 was cut short. 221, he'll be one of their top players. We'll be right back.
Hello, Sports Scouting Report podcast fans. Like what you hear? Well, you're going to like our content at lafootballmagazine.com. This week, check out our recruit spotlights on Catholic High School safety Michael Cernauskas, who has committed to the Army Black Knights this past week, and Manny running back Terrence Williams, who is carrying on the great power running tradition for the Tigers. Also, make sure to check out our podcast each and every week and pre-order your North or South Magazine edition for this upcoming season. All that and more on lafootballmagazine.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to Sports Scouting Report with Lee Brecheen. We have Cameron Taylor of Northwestern State baseball, one of their top pitchers coming out of the bullpen. I want to brag on some of your dad, Russell Taylor, who I know very well. He's a legend at Centenary in Shreveport, and we talked about it earlier. Cameron, he had an epic game against Carl, the mailman Malone from Louisiana Tech, and your dad didn't grow up really bragging about anything. You know, he's pretty modest, and you told me you didn't find out till later in life that he had a 40-point game against Carl Malone, and you saw a picture of him going up to the basket with Carl Malone trying to block him, right? Didn't he have that from the newspaper article cut out?
Yeah, so I was upstairs studying in like a quiet room that's kind of isolated from the house. Didn't really go in very often. But so I'm studying and I get bored of studying. So I go in a drawer and I'm like flipping around looking at things and I see magazine clippings. And sure enough, it's a picture of him and Carl Malone at the rim. And it's talking about the game against them. And Dad had 40, Carl Malone had 40. And the place, you could see the arena in the background. It was absolutely packed out. And so I asked him about it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we played so and so back in, and they wasn't no big deal though." And I was like, "That's kind of a big deal to me." So yeah, it was very interesting.
If you could name 3 or 4 teammates that are coming back that have a chance to be all Southland Conference, just in your opinion, being one of the players, who are some of the guys coming back that will be not just maybe pro prospects or somebody could play overseas, but good baseball players for Northwestern? Who would be 3 or 4 of your teammates to mention as leaders coming back?
Well, hopefully Logan Hoffman if he comes back.
Yeah,
definitely. Definitely Tyler Smith, Lenny Kunert. Could see a Marshall Skinner in there if he has a big year. He's pretty talented. We got a lot of candidates that are all definitely on the bubble for that. And so if they have a good year, they could easily see a first team All Southland Conference, especially if the team plays well throughout the year. So.
We talked about the Canada invasion. Y'all got some recruits coming in from Canada. Logan Hoffman started like a portal here from Canada, man. Northwestern's got some future in baseball recruits from Canada. And then Logan Hoffman, we talked about his 95-mile-an-hour fastball, 4 pitches. What would you like to talk about college baseball? Cameron, do you like everything, all the rules for college kids as far as the game itself? I mean, do you like the rosters? Do you think the NCAA should make it a little bit bigger? I mean, I always thought it should be more money involved, more scholarships, you know, the whole 11.7 scholarships. And let everybody know, not everybody on the team has scholarship money, right? I mean, some guys are on like 10%, 5%, 50%, or none, right?
Well, actually, the minimum scholarship is 25%.
It's amazing.
Per player. So if a player has a scholarship, he has at least 25%, and you only get 11.7 scholarships to spread for about 40 players. Mm. And so the way it works is that usually about half the lineup will be walk-on. And so being a walk-on in college baseball isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
Because, I mean, there's academic scholarships and all other kinds of scholarships they can try to find for you. But so if you don't get a scholarship coming out of high school for baseball, definitely not a big deal. You could definitely see playing time, and you could definitely go to the next level. I mean, I believe there was a draft pick yesterday that was top 10 picks. I believe one of them was a walk-on at their university. And Nick Gonzalez, I believe, from New Mexico State, I'm pretty sure he was a walk-on.
I think the shortstop that went in the first round from Arizona State was like 155, like you coming out of high school.
Oh gosh.
And he was one of them 25% guys that went in the first 20 picks. So,
so definitely not having a scholarship really doesn't matter that much as long as you get a spot on a team somewhere in a program where you can develop and succeed. I think that's the biggest thing as far as getting to college.
Before we go, talk about coach. I mean, your coach Barbier has done a heck of a job with this program, and y'all have had some great coaches come out of Northwestern. It seems like if a coach leaves Northwestern baseball, they go SEC or a big school. But coach,
not really a fan of how Barbier. No, I'm joking. I love him.
He just spilled his coffee. He just spilled his coffee here.
I don't want to run any stadiums. No, I definitely love him. The way he coaches, the way he goes about, his life, and he's definitely somebody to look up to, just because of the way he carries himself.
Yeah.
So, like, he has his moments where the pitchers. He works with the pitchers directly, and so we'll be running, warming up, doing our sprints. And we throw and we get our post throw done, and we come back to do more sprints for a little extra conditioning. Well, he'll hop in and do it with us. And I think that speaks volumes about him as a person, him as a coach, just showing that we're not in it by ourselves. Like player, coach, we're not separate. We're all in it together. And so I feel like a lot of bigger schools aren't like that. I feel like their coaches kind of separate from their players, and they kind of see their players more as pieces. Or at Northwestern, they see their players more as people and as bigger parts of the program.
Yeah, Cameron. One thing I think fans might want to hear, but for the team coming up, I know it's early, but you think this team will be a power hitting team, or you think it'll be spraying singles around the field, a lot of singles, doubles, or is it diversity? Y'all have got some power coming back?
Yeah, we definitely have little bits of both. We have some big guys that can drive the ball a pretty far distance, and then we got a lot of guys that'll be singles, doubles, triples kind of guy. And so it really just depends on, who we play and how everything's going and how everybody feels. But I feel like, since this coronavirus, everybody's getting a year back.
Yeah.
And so I feel like college baseball is really about to pick it up a notch as far as the talent level. I feel like, just everybody getting a year back, everybody getting another year of experience, basically. I mean, we played 20 games last year.
Yeah.
It's not like you didn't play at all.
Right.
So, I mean, I feel like everybody's getting bigger, faster, stronger over the break, and college baseball really is going to have a large talent pool this next year. So,
all right, who's got the best arm? Who do you not want to hit the ball to in the infield? Like you're going to be an out automatic. Who's got that arm for the team?
In the infield, definitely Cam Sibley.
Okay,
he has made some plays from shortstop like I've never seen before. He'll make a sliding back in the hole and just gun you, and it's impressive.
So outfield, who's the speedster? Who can get to any ball in outfield?
We actually have a couple of those. There's Larson Fontenot, there's Tyler Smith, there's Wendy Cooner. There's definitely a lot of guys that can, that are 6'6" and under. And I feel like that's pretty common at D1 level, but they can all move pretty quick, and they all have pretty good route efficiency as far as pass to the ball and reads off the bat, just because of the work Taylor Dugas, our hitting coach and outfield coach, does with them. He played at the big league level with the Yankees.
Yeah.
And so he has a lot of experience in the outfield and with big league coaches. He takes what he knows and applies it to our guys at Northwestern.
Well, Cameron, you did a great job representing the Northwestern State University in Natchitoches, Louisiana, and I'm sure all the Demon fans will be happy to hear you. And we don't, it's not every day you get a baseball player on to promote, and I think baseball deserves it, right? Baseball is a great sport.
No, for sure, and the popularity is definitely coming up in the game. I feel like the past few years, I think the MLB set records for revenue the last few years, and I feel like that's going to continue to climb, along with the recognition the College World Series gets every year. So as long as, we keep putting a good product out there as far as the NCAA and the major league level, I feel like more people are going to gravitate towards the game and want to view it and want to pay to watch it and have their kids involved in it. So.
And let's hope Logan Hoffman can come back if he's not getting big money, right? Y'all star pitcher.
For sure. Definitely love him. Definitely love him as a guy and a player. I really hope he does get drafted high and he becomes a multimillionaire, but if he doesn't, I'm sure everybody in Natchitoches would love to have him back.
95 miles an hour with a 1 ERA going into with the season cut short, and was just dominating. One hit in fall, one hit in spring. You don't hear that every day. And good luck to you, Cameron. And you got 2 fun years of getting more degrees, and that's a great thing. I know your dad, Russell Taylor, is very proud of you and your mom. Look, thank you for joining us, and good luck this coming season.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks, Cameron.
Thanks for listening to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Brecheen. We apologize to our fans for not releasing our strongest high school player segment today, but we'll guarantee you that we'll release our list next Friday, which will be June 19th. Also, as a reminder, be sure to subscribe and download our podcast wherever you listen to our podcast on Mondays and Fridays. Finally, want to read more on what Jack Bech and the St. Thomas More Cougars will do this year, coming off a state title? Well, you can pre-order our North and South preview editions, which is available to pre-order on our website at lafootballmagazine.com. Have a good weekend, and we'll see y'all again on Monday.
Thanks for listening to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Brecheen.